Page 314, give my regards to Broadway. This is an example of ensemble music where you have 3 or 4 people playing together. There are 3 parts, but you'll notice the part 1 has 2 notes in it. So unless you have an instrument or singers who can do 2 parts at the same time, then you need 2 instruments. They could be the same instrument. It's like I could have 2 violins on top. They don't say what the instruments are. It's up to you. If they're not concert keyed instruments, then you got to transpose it, but let them deal with that. Otherwise, it's a concert keyed instrument like an oboe or a violin or something. And then part 2 is another one, which would be another concert keyed instrument, but you only need 1 instrument on that one. And then, of course, piano does part 3. It's got the curly brace, it's a grand staff, it's a piano part there. If it were not a piano part, they should tell you what instrument they want you to use. Look it over. It's 3 pages long, 4/4 time. We're in the key of C major, and I have problems with this arrangement. I would not arrange this way, because the parts, all the voices, and the harmony thing, they all need to support each other or complement each other. And the way this is written, the voices tend to get in each other's way. They're like fighting over the same area. Like at the beginning, if I do here, the part 1 here, and the part 2 is here. I mean, by themselves, they sound fine, but when you put them together, it's like here. See, both of them have the same note there. And then here, close together, and then here. It's just like they're getting in each other's way here. Maybe that's what they wanted. That's the effect, fine. Otherwise, I would have to adjust where these are played. I could take part 1 up an octave. I go up here. And then part 2, is, if it's where it's at, but then when I get to measure 7 and 8, again, they're fighting over the same territory. They don't blend all that well. You end up with that. Or I could take part 2 down an octave here rather than here, play it down here. But again, I'm playing the same area. Or I could take part 1 up an octave and part 2 down an octave here. You get the idea? And that might work too if you have the right combination of instruments that blend together, their tones. You would need an oboe or something up here, because an oboe in the upper register can come out. It can be heard. On the other hand, the flute could too, I suppose, or violin, either way up here. And then the piano, of course, is down here. Broken chords. Whatever, no big deal on that one. In an ensemble, you have to have some way of keeping everybody together. One way of doing it is you have a conductor. Usually with small ensembles, they don't use a conductor per se. I mean, maybe grade school or somebody, they have to have that teacher up there because it's more a psychological support than anything else. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a conductor per se. In that case, one of the people in the ensemble sort of acts like the conductor, the leader. And a lot of ensembles, that would be the first violin or whoever gets the melody. They would take charge because the melody rules. We're here for the melody. We want to hear the melody. That's what it's all about. So a lot of times in this kind of case, because the piano part is like the drums are keeping the beat going, it would be the piano that would start it out. It would hear it. And so somehow you got to find a way to get everybody in the ensemble to play that first note at the same time. Boom. Well, good luck with that. Another way you can do that is to give it a short introduction. Let the piano part play the first 2 measures by itself, and then everybody comes in at the beginning. So that would set the speed, the tempo, sort of. else would come in there. That's another way of doing it. You have to work it out with your ensemble. Different ensembles will do it differently. Now we have a little problem here with the page turn. A lot of times ensemble music, the instruments will only have their music on their page, so they can get it all on one page. The piano part normally gets the whole score, the whole thing. They see everything. They see coordinating how everything works together. That means the piano part's got to turn that page, and you can't mess up the rhythm to do it, and we don't want to leave out notes. So how do we do that? Well, you have options on page turns, and we'll get into page turns later, I'm sure. I don't want to talk too much on it now. The point is we got to find a way to turn this page without messing up the beat. Now, if you have to, you leave out the right hand, because we got to have these half notes. You got to have that. That's the bass, that's the bolt, that's the driving fact. You can't let those out. You can let these out. So you take the right hand and turn the page right quick. Or, if you can, let the pedal help you out a little bit and play both scales in one hand, but you have to practice that. Bottom of page 215, it's here. I'm changing the pedal with every half note. If you need more time than that, then you need to do the last two measures. Here, here. So if you can memorize those, then while you're doing this, you can turn the page with the right hand. That would take some practice too. I'll leave it up to you on how you go about getting the page turned. Or you get somebody to turn the page for you, or you just memorize it. Then at the end, the bottom of page 316, the last measure, everybody's got the whole notes. They're all doing their thing here. There's no fermata there, so that makes it a little easier in counting, because in that case, you just do the 4 beats and let go. As long as everybody's counting the same, everybody needs to stop and be silent at the same time. So it's here on that one. 2, 3, 4, everybody's quiet. That's what rehearsals are for, to get that thing worked out. Otherwise, somebody's got to give some sort of an indication of when to stop. Usually a head nod or something. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you let up on 4. That tells everybody to stop. Somehow they got to work it out as an ensemble to stop the sound at the same time. It's like at the beginning, to start the sound at the same time, to stay together. And that's what rehearsals are for. Other than all that stuff, I don't have a lot to say on this. The piano part's just a bunch of broken chords. If you want to analyze it, you got those chords. You got C chords, and then you got these. That's like a D7 chord. You got G7 chords, and then you got D minor chord. You want to go into all that junk? That's up to you. I never bother to analyze them. I just read the notes they give me.